Swamp Rebellion. So, believe it or not, that was supposed to be our first. That was our first stab at an intro. Theme song.
Felt that one out. I think we did that in Phil's kitchen.
Yeah.
While we were recording, I was putting that thing together.
That was happening. That is correct.
I still like the synth part. It's pretty cool.
It is. We wanted to call that intro, and at that time, we were still kicking around names for the show, and we wanted to call it the Dead Sea Scrotums. And we just thought we couldn't get monetized with that.
Count our lucky stars we didn't roll with that, huh?
No, we were smarter than that. But at the time, it was fun trying to come up with those things, you know. What are we going to name the show? We went from Dead Sea Scrotums to Dead Air, the Dead Air Podcast, Dead Air Media by proxy, and then we figured that was too much of a mouthful. And then one day we sat down and we just group texted for about 4 days straight and threw out names. And we figured that we wanted a 3-part name, and we wanted it to, each one of the words in it to represent what we are. And so that's when we came up with Dank Swamp Rebellion.
Through rigorous vernacular.
Rigorous of Tylerness of being on the other end, completely frustrated with the rest of our high and drunk asses, throwing out the most insane bullshit. And I think he would just copy and paste over and over again his response, where he would just say, "It doesn't sell. It doesn't sell.
This will not work. This sucks."
You're saying the same thing without saying the same thing.
But I do think that theme absolutely fits with Dead Sea Scrotum name. I could envision that together.
Absolutely.
Maybe one day the Dead Sea Scrotums are gonna come up like a hockey team or something.
But right now we're that's actually a tidbit that you would probably never get, is to hear that theme song.
We're coming out of the woodwork on this one.
But we find that this theme song is the one, our intro theme is the one that represents us the most.
DSR theme was, I think it took about a day or two to put together, but it came together really organically because I knew I wanted it to have a reggae time feel, and those upstrokes really put it together with a toy piano type sound. And I came across a patch that I really enjoyed that would be the bass tone of that, which eventually just became the signature line, the melody line for the song.
The bass really runs in that low tune, and I love that.
And that, putting that one together just felt right the whole way through. There was no struggle. It just was a really organic process. The theme song absolutely embodies exactly what the show's about, and I'm so happy to see that like other people think the same thing. That's like the coolest part.
And I remember when you were writing the song, you didn't want to put too much time into any one song yet until we all kind of agreed on it, right? So I remember even when you sent us the bare bones of it, and you said, look, I'm going to add this and this and this to it, but this is what the basic structure would be. And right from that point, so from there to what it turned into was not a whole lot of change already. You had pretty much had it set up, and we were sold on it, and it was done. The minute I heard it, we even tested it on a few other people, and it was done. The minute I heard it, we even tested it on a few other people, and it was done. The minute I heard it, we even tested it on a few other people, and it was done. The minute I heard it, we even tested it on a few other people, and it was done. The minute I heard it, we even tested it on a few other people, and it was done. The minute I heard it, we even tested it on a few other people, and it was done. The minute I heard it, we even tested it on a few other people, and it was done. The minute I heard it, we even tested it on a few other people, and it was done. The minute I heard it, we even tested it on a few other people, and it was done. The minute I heard it, we even tested it on a few other people, and it was done. The minute I heard it, we even tested it on a few other people, and it was done. The minute I heard it, we even tested it on a few other people, and it was done. The minute I heard it, we even tested it on a few other people, and it was done. The minute I heard it, we even tested it on a few other people, and it was done. They were kind of in a test market type thing, and they all agreed that was the way to go.
Yeah, I was pretty much there from the whole time and just had to put the puzzle pieces in and set it up.
After that, the next time that we actually started writing songs, and you went through this little phase of about 6 episodes, right?
Yeah, I did.
To where you would hear things, and apparently you heard dubstep, and you dubbed in these little different quirky things, and it worked out really cool. So here's one of them right here.
Keep it alive and continue to be and fly like an eagle to my destiny. Metrosexual gangster. Give a fuck. 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 When season for monkeys.
That open season for monkeys. That was for our shout out to Kerala, India. Again, thank you, India.
Yeah, man, y'all bringing it together. Inspiration, dude. I think that might be my favorite one, but I was starting to take bits and pieces from the other tracks that I had chopped up like that, and that might have been the danciest one.
Right.
Bye.
I love it, and I love that there's also that fuck you to Fred Durst in there.
Yeah.
I'm totally about that lifestyle.
He heard it.
He did, and he felt it. He felt it deep inside of him, and that's fine too. We're not really too much concerned about the Durston of the world. So then another kind of we'll get to a few more of those in a minute. One of my favorite pieces of our show of all time, and I don't know why, it just tickles the fuck out of my ass whenever I hear it, is when we did this Mentos commercial.
Staying fresh for you, staying fresh, staying cool. Mentos for all of life, fresh makes better.
And we're sued.
Even though that's not my penis, that's hard. There's just some Mentos in my pocket and you're a retard.
I'm gonna pop one in you and you'll love it too.
I put some Mentos in your puss and then pour in a Diet Coke. It'll make some foam that might make me choke.
It's like the volcanoes that are dormant in Hawaii.
I used to make them when I was in science class in 3rd grade.
Fuck Mr. Vedros, fuck Mr. Vedros.
Fuck you, Miss Callahan.
Science isn't for everyone, it's definitely not for you because you're a failing man.
And not to mention other subjects like English and reading and math and anything but lunch.
I learned Black Dog just in spite of you. Just an eighth grade class member could show you up on guitar in a science classroom. That just, man, it just spoke to me.
It brings you back, dude.
There was a part in my life where that resonated very deeply, and of course you forget about it over the decades.
Absolutely.
But oh man, that resentment, it was there.
It was there, and it was strong.
It was deep.
It always brought me back for some reason. That always made me think about going to church when I was a kid, because my mom would always keep me from cracking jokes about the preacher or whatever in church by feeding me things. So normally it was Mentos. Like, here, eat this whole sleeve of Mentos in the next hour and shut the fuck up.
Put this in your mouth and keep it busy.
And shut the hell up, yo.
And now look, we doing the same thing, just with a microphone instead of...
Yeah, 2 turntables and a microphone. We killing this shit, man. That's what we do for our Jesus people.
Oh, and the Mentos. Oh, well, honestly, all of these tracks like that's built in musicals in these episodes are 100% freestyle. We don't script any part of this show besides a layout of, hey, this episode should be about this.
Speaking of 100% freestyling, this is our rendition of When You Wish Upon a Star.
When you wish upon a star, makes no difference who you are. When you
That one sing along we did, and you said, "Oh, what was it about Dick Clit and the tuna?"
Oh yeah. Oh, what you know when you're going down.
Oh, what you know when you're going down.
What are the lyrics? What are the actual lyrics?
I don't remember now because I'm pretty.
Because what you know when you're going down. Yeah.
It's something else. It's not that,
bro. So we were reviewing the episode last night for part 2, and I say something fucking again. I fuck up 2 words and put them together with, I think it was like placement and something else. I made up some bullshit, and the best part, I always like to feel like I did it on purpose.
Not to mention when you do it, you believe it.
Oh, I'm sold. I believe in 100% backing up what you put down. So yeah, I absolutely did that shit on purpose.
So here comes the next one. This is a nice little dub for you guys. Hope you enjoy.
It's my 21st birthday. I want to go to a strip club in New Orleans. And they're like, which one do you recommend? I said, none of the nice ones. Don't go to like Rick's Cabaret. Go to like Stiletto. It's just basic science. Now that's a fact. From Jim. Again, it's just basic science. Now that's a fact. From Jim. Again. Now that's a fact.
The real fact is that bass line going in is sick, bro.
Earthworm Jim.
I'm like, is this area of our Studio 51 or 54, whatever it was?
Bro, we were born in the wrong era.
We were.
I should have been a 70s bass player.
You and me both. I should have just been at Woodstock in '69 and died. I'd have been cool with that. When that storm came through and the towers and shit fell, I'd have wanted to been crushed by that shit while I'm tripping balls.
Face planting into a pile of mud, and I'm not talking about the the slosh pit.
No slosh pits for us. So this next one here is, I don't know. What do you want to hear next? No, not you, the listeners.
Oh.
But what do you want to hear next?
That's a good choice. I want to too.
All right.
Here comes Jessica.
Oh, dude, you beat up Jessica Rabbit again?
Who didn't beat up the Jessica Rabbit?
It might have been my first one.
Here comes Jessica.
Oh, dude, you beat up Jessica Rabbit again?
Who didn't beat up the Jessica Rabbit? Jessica.
From Jim. From Jim. Uncircumcised.
Goddamn right. This is really essentially another day in the life in the red light district for me.
That's beautiful.
Like finding a glory hole and having.
You made my cloaca just cry. Dude, okay. So
Are you talking about like the rosebud in your asshole quivering?
So our 420 episode was super awesome, and we wrote a song for 420, and we fucking loved it right away. And it was one of the most fun songs we ever wrote. Lyrically, I was just having a blast putting wordplay on anything weed related, and Tyler was just in his fucking own mind, just giggling like a little girl to his inner self because he was actually writing an old spaghetti styled country western / whatever it was. And it was fun, and we glad people liked it. Dude, it was fun to make.
It took literally 30 minutes to make that.
30 minutes of our time, and that was the best 30 minutes of my life.
If we could have recorded the process, there's 100% chance that would be in the world's book of records for being loaded and writing a song about being loaded to the tune of a country western. that specific too.
Right.
I want to make sure we could get that next year.
And it's not like we were trying to do it.
No. That was completely like, I walked in, hey man, we should track a song for the 420 episode. You were all about it. And we game planned and prepped and then just went at it. You started writing lyrics before the song was even put together. And right at the moment of, okay, let's start tracking vocals because the bass is done. You were done. We tracked the vocals and literally did everything in fucking 30 minutes. And I love this song. It's so cool.
So y'all check it out. Here's Urban Western.
Picks me up when we're feeling low, tingling from my head to my toes, to the ocean's waves from the sky above. It fills our hearts with love. And me, icky sticky lick that ziggy weed. Lots of flits and splits be hitting weed. Mean and green and so pristine weed. Bowls and balls and silly songs weed. Great like Jeopardy, it healed diseases like leprosy, and makes us love the ones we hate, even our families we can tolerate. Icky sticky lick that ziggy weed. Lots of flits and splits be hitting weed. Mean and green and so pristine weed. Bowls and balls and silly songs weed. Makes us hungry and kinda spaced. When you give it to monkeys, they masturbate on a plate while eating grapes, while wearing skates with a G-string and a cape. Icky sticky lick that ziggy weed. Lots of flits and splits be hitting weed. Mean and green and so pristine weed. Bowls and balls and silly songs weed. Vaping, baking all night weed. Hip and hash and herb and tea weed. Weed, loving that weed.
So yeah, Urban Western. Like Tyler said, I started writing lyrics before the song was even kind of finished or even put together. And the thing is, the way we kind of do it, our process is that we first get an idea of a story that we're trying to tell in one way or another. With that song, it was more of a homage, a love song, so to speak, but in a crude type of way to marijuana. And it was also a tribute to people who partake in 420.
Sure.
It was for all of you that do so. And if you can't or don't, we don't look down on you. It's not your fault that...
We're so high.
Yeah, that's just the way it works.
What's your favorite part of that song?
The favorite part of... my favorite part of that song is I really like how I feel like we really encompass the kind of... the honk harmonies.
The spaghetti honk.
Yeah. we
How are you?
That's the part that took us a minute to record over and over, was just those little things to make it kind of, and sometimes the harmonies are just so in line.
I don't consider myself a vocalist, but one of my favorite parts of that track is the fucking melody line in the chorus that makes me sound like a girl. I did not change my tune.
Yeah.
I didn't do anything.
We've had people ask us who's the lady in the background.
I could sing that high. It took me a while. Believe it or not, this low end bass resonance, this is my normal speaking voice.
Yeah. As soon as you put on that protective cup, you're ready for the high notes.
Boy, let me tell you.
Past the clouds, man. But the same thing happened with this next song. We were writing a song for the Cajun Twist, and the first thing we did was, what's the story? Okay. And the story pretty much was, I woke up and my stomach's growling, and I got the envie. And for those of y'all not in Cajun country that don't know what an envie is, that's when you have a craving for something and it will not go away until you get it.
Or a hankering.
Maybe you want it. You just fucking want it, Dad.
You need it.
Let me tell you something, bro. Gravon wakes up every morning just dreaming about oyster po' boy from the Cajun Twist in Guyana, Louisiana. God bless, and all the other fuckers in the church, man.
I knew that was coming. Cajun Twist. We had our story ready for this one. We knew exactly what we wanted to do with it, and I had a revelation while tracking this. So I've never written a Zydeco tune in my entire life.
Which is a lot harder than it sounds.
It is.
Lyrically, musically, there's a lot of half steps and quarter steps and 3/4 and 3/4 of a quarter step.
There's a lot of really interesting changes you would not believe until you're on that end of the process. And I've come to the revelation that Zydeco music, which I could translate to, is ska music. And when I say that, I just mean that in the guitar part sense. Like the rhythm guitar track is very close to how rhythm guitar is played in ska music, which is very rhythmic and very choppy. So I just took what I knew about that and put the chords and structured that way. And the main lines were something that I would have normally have written to a tune like that, but I changed the instrument to a fucking fiddle and an accordion. and just the tonality alone changed the shit out of the whole landscape of the song. But my favorite part of that song is the bass line.
Yeah.
That bass line fucking gets it.
It kicks.
It kicked my ass trying to track that shit. It took me probably about 45 to an hour to track just the bass because I wanted it perfect. And my process is I write this shit as I'm recording it. I don't go in and write the whole song, then track it. I've never done that. I've always written the song while I'm recording it piece by piece. And I feel like doing that kind of like lets me know where I was in that point in my life. And like none of the DSR tunes, like any of the stuff that I would have released before doing this or while I'm doing DSR, that's always been my process. And I could go back and listen to some of these songs because once I record them, I don't ever listen to them maybe like 6 to a year, maybe even 2 years down the road and go back and listen. I'm like, that's where I was in my life. And it instantly transports me. And it's super cool because how Neuralink is talking about uploading your consciousness to recall back previous memories. This is exactly what that process does for me.
You heard it right here. DSR is the actual real Neuralink. You don't need that bullshit. We are Neuralink. The song is super good. Loved making it. It was the most lyrically was the most complicated I've done
There
throughout my career.
are parts of your vocal tracks that if I closed my eyes, I would think I'm listening to an unreleased Leonard Skinard.
Dude, and coming from you, bro, that means a lot. That really does. Listen, guys, you can have your opinions about any artist on the planet at any time, but you know what? They still made money doing what they love to do, and you're still sitting at a desk or in the shipyard
And
offshore.
You know them enough to not like it.
That's right.
That's on purpose.
Right now, fuck you, Nickelback. But you know what?
I respect the shit out of that.
Yeah.
Chad Kroger.
Yeah, all of those grocery stores that he owns.
Mm-hmm.
You know? But I think one of the coolest things that Tyler has done for the show, in my opinion, is when he took our theme song and he went 8-bit. He went full retro on that bitch. So here you go. Here's our theme song in 8-bit. Check it out. So I got a question.
Sure.
How'd you do it?
So you want the straightforward or you just want the really cool, long, convoluted version?
I want to know how you did it.
Okay. So I was playing, I think it was Mario 3 at the time. No, it was Mario 128, the one where you fucking fight everyone in the battle royale. I was really inspired, and I was playing that for a few weeks because it was going to go away. So I wanted to do something chip-tuned way before we needed a purpose for it. And I was like, okay, so how do I do this? So I took our theme song and I just ran it through it's basically it's a plug-in that turns your songs, whatever audio, into a really low quality version of it. And I went listen back and I was like, this is almost where I want it, but it's really muddy, it's really shitty. It gave me a baseline of what I wanted to do. So what I did was I'll go in the session and separated each individual part down to its own track, and then I automated the filter for each individual track to be a lower quality like that. And I still didn't like it, but it was closer to where I wanted to be. So some parts stayed that way. Some parts were able to do that, but the bass line, which is, the thing that carries the tune,
and gave it that muddy.
I turned it into a really cool synth, and that synth patch has stuck on a lot of different other tunes, because I just love it. It's that grimy, grindy, bassy 8-bit sound, and I fucking love that sound. So there are one or two other parts that I was able to do that. The drums were actually really easy because I just took what I had in the drums and reprogrammed them to sound more chiptune-y, and then put that filter over to lower the quality. So it wasn't as easy as just like sticking a filter on it.
Oh, I know that. And not to mention that it's all the little things. And a lot of people, I guess because we do this so much, right? I can pick up on the little tiny things of where you would take you probably took a sound that was probably 10 seconds long, cut it down to a half a second, put it on half-second marks, just the up bleeps throughout that little bridge part.
My favorite part's the bridge, because that's not in the original tune, but I wanted it to go somewhere, and I wanted it to feel like an EDM drop, like a bass drop.
And it does. You did it.
So the part where it builds up to the down, boom, the Mega Man Buster Cannon on the upbeats.
And to end it with, here we go.
yeah.
That was baller. That's like, what a way to go out of the bridge. At that point, right. I was like, Deadmau5 will spin this shit.
That felt right. Believe it or not, the hardest fucking part of that whole track was taking that Donkey Kong sound right at the beginning and putting it in time.
Right.
Because he does not do that in time. And I didn't want to just lower or speed the pitch, because I wanted him to sound the same way, just in time with the song. So I had to cut it into individual parts, and it had delay bleed on it. So I had to mask that up. And it was worth the trouble, but that was the fucking hardest part of that shit.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. The next two, I'm going to play back to back. It's two dubs that Tyler did. And what he did is in the first episode that he did it's kind of the same as the second time, but he just evolved it. And he brought it around to just another little level. Very cool. But this was the last two actual dubs from bits of the episodes that he did.
Okay. Make it full like history of films, and all you hear is them. And go www.bbwepisodes.com. Again, Phil. Yes, again, Google. Put it on now.
That was just 5 minutes ago.
I'm ready to go. I'm hungry.
That was just 5 minutes ago.
I'm ready to go. I'm hungry.
5 minutes ago. 5 minutes ago.
Okay.
5 minutes ago.
I'm ready to go. I go fishing where every fish hard. Okay. I don't care if they're private pond. If they put fish in there, it's for good on to eat. What do you think? Okay, when I get my limit, I'll leave you turn bitch me.
Every time I hear it, I laugh, dude. Every single time.
Dude, if I go back and listen to those episodes and I hear that segment come up in the podcast, I cannot hear it without that fucking 90s R&B bass line and the dubstep trap beats and auto-tune.
And that's one of the best Grovant performances of the decade right there. So
yeah, I don't know what possessed me to do these, but I think what happened was there was some kind of bug up my ass, and I was trying to make fun of some of these styles of music, and it ended up ultimately just being something I wanted it to, and I just kept rolling with it until it, the bug died.
The last one was a little shorter because I think Tyler was just getting to a point where he was tired, and he got to a point where he's like, man, it's a lot of automation to do this on everyone, and we were just getting to the point where we were picking up momentum, and it was just not priority anymore.
You know what happened? I know exactly the turning point. We started doing individual artwork for the episodes,
and not just that. Halen left the show.
That too.
On that episode that Halen left the show, that was the last song.
Maybe those should stay whenever Halen's around.
Yeah.
I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
Halen gets the dubs.
That's cool.
We call them...
I can dig that.
We'll call them Jugga Dubs.
So we wrote another Western.
For a couple cats that never wrote fucking country Western
a
tunes,
metal Western.
We really, really like these.
Yeah. And it's fun. I'm not going to lie. And especially if you do it a little grimy. Once again, Rattlesnake Dre, we wanted to write him a tune. We wrote it after the episode, and I gained a bunch of just vibe from this dude, man.
Yeah.
And
still, man.
And at first I tried to write the lyrics, right? Tyler pretty much once again already had his basis of what he wanted to do, and at least the beginning format, we wanted to sound like the old Clint Eastwood out in the desert.
That was a soundtrack.
Yeah.
That was more than just a fucking song, man. I put a lot that's probably the song I put the most time into, because I was feeling it so much. I actually got a lot of inspiration from watching a few spaghetti westerns while I was doing it. I didn't have the sound on. I just had it on.
Yeah.
Just to have the vibe. And I had a good bit of the tune done. And Randy comes in and she's like, you know what it's missing? I was like, it's missing something. Something's not here. But I can't put my finger on it because I've been working on it for probably like 4 hours or 5 hours at that point. And usually when I do sessions like this, I just get completely entranced, and whatever's going on around me or anything that's coming at, like, that's all I'm doing until I feel like, okay, there's enough progress, I could stop. So I'm about 4 or 5 hours deep, and I just couldn't piece what was not there. And she walked in, I showed it to her. She's like, it's missing the whoosh. I was like, that's exactly what the fuck it's missing. So I stuck those in the perfect places, and after that it came up with the rattlesnake sound.
Yeah.
And that was all she wrote, man. That's all it took. And from there I was able to just take the track and let it soar, man.
We tried to write it as a regular country and western song. We wanted to write it with melodic type lyrics to match the melody of the song. It just was not working. It wasn't a good feeling.
Right.
And then I looked at Tyler and I said, why are we not telling a story like a Marlboro commercial? Because that's what it should be.
That's exactly what happened.
And so I wrote what I felt was a story encompassing Rattlesnake Dre. And Tyler got in the character and put his Indiana Jones style hat on and got on the mic and he narrated it, and I picked up the vocals in the chorus, and this is what you got.
That could
for souls, owned by long lost mysteries. There can only be one. The man. The myth. The legend. Rattlesnake Train. Rattlesnake Train. The man, the myth, the legend, Rattlesnake Train. Rattlesnake
Whenever I was doing the first half of this track, it felt right, but there's a side to Andre that's just chaotic. And if you ever meet him or listen to the episode, you find that out really quickly.
Not just chaotic, but also the kids call it today crackhead energy. But if you take that to like the 50th power,
He has that energy he brings everywhere he fucking goes, and that's part of him, and I love that shit.
it's like a natural coke. Like if he gets next to you, you feel like you coked out. It's like, holy shit, let's do some shit.
Plus, he was in a heavy band and the front man for it. So I had to tie this off with a nice bow and make it super fucking heavy at the end.
I love the end.
And I love this shit.
That good, deep Southern guitar chuck. It's like, oh, man.
It was perfect for the song, for him, all the way around. And it was probably one of my favorite ways I've mixed the heavy guitars with the bass. It's just really
A lot of
deep.
people liked the song. And actually, a lot of people loved it. But still, in my mind, it's when he came back to us and he said, dude, I let my dad listen to that song. And his dad said, he even did like the heavy guitar shit at the end, like that band you used to be in. And that was awesome to me. I was like, man, that fucking says something. That means that we really did encompass this guy. Because the minute he heard it, and the same thing, the Twist episode came out. The next day, Anthony was like, man, I can't believe the song. It's perfect. It's absolutely perfect. Because they hadn't heard it before.
Right.
And, you know, it was on the show.
They don't hear it until we release the episode.
Right.
Because we want
unless you call us and say, hey, we need you to write me a song and you're going to pay us for it. Like, well, you get to hear it before anybody else. But they got these on the house, so.
Yeah, exactly.
So, Tyler, are you sick of hearing the America's Funniest Home Videos theme song that you did?
I regret having the idea. No, man, it's cool. I'm glad I was able to do it because, dude, it's so interesting to me how you could take a set of musical notes and turn them into basically whatever style you fucking want to if you have the imagination for it.
Right.
And that one was really easy to put to that style, but I kid you not, I had to take 3 or 4 days to do the right guitar track. And
to get the right instruments where you needed them, because there's a couple times you came here to the studio, we reviewed it, and that was the hardest part, was to get it to where each individual horn part was the right toned horn to make it sound authentic.
Authentically 90s synthesizer shit.
Yeah, something that would have made Bob Saget proud, or Carlton from Fresh Prince, if you remember back that far.
And what's so cool is like I'm getting to utilize these techniques like reharmonization and new instrumentation for different parts. And I always loved that stuff, but I never did any practice on it. And this is all the fucking practice in the world, because I'm generally just taking the same song and turning it into different styles of music, and that just comes with everything that follows it too. And it's really letting me flex my composer type thing. And I can't wait to take these songs and flesh them out.
But now, as the last but not least, because out of everything, I don't know why, this short little ditty right here is my favorite. I just like it. It amazes me to listen to it. It's our Halloween episode, and it's our intro in a very heavy, dark Halloween feel to it. I just like it, dude. I love it. I have it on my Google Drive, and I jam it down the car, dude. And when I'm in the car going down the road, so.
That I wanted to take the theme and I just wanted to make it really heavy and really spooky sounding. So I didn't know exactly how I wanted to do it, but I knew the tools I needed. And as far as repurposing the song, doing it enough times up to this point has helped me, but this is a very minor sounding tune.
It is. It dropped everything in the song.
And I mean the consistent double bass where it's heavy, but tracking the guitars were super fun. I think my favorite part was the part that I gave myself when I laughed.
Yeah.
I didn't do any pitch change on that. That's just exactly.
Yeah, it fits so well.
It felt perfect. And the big part that I can't wait to do, and we'll announce it here. This is the first time we're going to say it for all the audience. We are going to release all of these songs on an album, and you'll be able to listen to just the songs on Spotify, iTunes, iHeartRadio, whatever it is that you listen on. And we've been having this plan to do this since the beginning of the DSR. And I'm so stoked.
The thing I'm stoked about is we also have 2 bonus tracks that are going to be on that album. And the bonus tracks, I'll give you the titles of them. One's called Blind Date. The other one is called Rippin' and Riding. And we can't wait for you guys to hear that. We can't wait to see what's going on with that.
That's just going to be another piece to the pie, baby.
He says this year. I say within the next couple months we're gonna have that done.
Yeah,
we're gonna release that for you guys. We know y'all chomping at the bit. But we thank you for hanging out with us again, guys. And this is a little bonus episode. This is DSR the musical, and we got a lot more to come. Our first season was so successful that we are chomping at the bit for season 2. So we got some big things coming for you guys, big plans, and more music. That's one thing that DSR is always going to be about, is cultivation of art, music, and utilizing people in your community that are the best of what they do, and making pretty much a community organization around that. Because when you have that and it's strong, you're unstoppable.
You fuck with the right people, the right things are gonna happen.
The right things fuck with you.
That's it. And look, this is technically the ass end of season 1. And hey, if we don't have an episode that comes out next week, don't be sad.
Don't freak out.
We need a little bit of rest. It's okay.
We heard, like, we get podcast tea. We get the tea on other casts, all right? And they say that some of these motherfuckers take off a whole season, like an actual winter or summer or spring,
like
or
3 months,
like craziness. We're taking off 1 week.
If we do, you never know.
And who knows? We might drop you a little something, a little something,
a little piece in case you get sad.
But if not, see us on our first episode of season 1 after the new year. And we are going to have Dave LeBlanc from DL Media, one of the area's best photographers. This guy is amazing. I have a lot of his prints in my studio right now. Dude's absolutely awesome. He's from the Bayou. Great guy. We was actually able to get him in for an interview, and it's a really, really good show, guys. It's actually two shows because it was a long one. We had a good time with this guy.
Hell yeah.
Whenever our guests come in and we have those long sessions and we have to cut it in half, I dig that, man, because it just means we've been partying hard.
And my favorite part too is like, man, we didn't even get to talk about the stuff that I came in planning on talking about. I was like, dude, that's what it is,
show,
baby. That's
the rebellion.
Awesome, man. I can't wait to put that one out too.
Yeah, guys. So happy holidays to you. Hope it was good for you and yours, and happy new year, and we'll see you on the other side. Thank you for listening to Dank Swamp Rebellion. Check us out on dsrtalks.com.